Ah, so you want to know what goes through a woman's mind when you stop chasing her? All right, I'll give you the rundown. But let me warn you up front, if you're expecting a sweet, comforting answer, forget about it. This is straight talk, no fluff, no mercy. First of all, stop imagining she's sitting around missing you, crying because you're not sending her those pathetic, "Good morning, princess" texts. No, my friend. She's living her life, just like she always did. And guess what? If you don't text or chase her, yeah, she'll notice, but not in the way you think. She'll be wondering, wait, did he get tired of being just another sheep in the herd? Because while you're here, overthinking, she's got options. And don't fool yourself. Plenty of women out there love playing emotional hide and seek. They'll make a big scene, disappear, then suddenly reappear just to see if you're still wagging your tail. And you know what you do? You respond. Of course, because you're clever. No, bro, you're just predictable. Now, let's stop wasting time. Pay attention. This video is for you to stop acting like a fool. If you're sitting there expecting her to come running after you, well, good luck. Maybe she will. Or maybe she's just laughing behind your back while you're stuck in your own delusion. So, my friend, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stop being so clueless. We're here to wake you up because playing these games only leads to one thing, getting even more lost than you already are. Let's get to the point because honestly, my patience is running thin. Number 1, feeling of rejection. Ah, rejection. The good old feeling no one wants to admit they've experienced, but everyone has. When you stop chasing her, she feels the hit. And no, it's not some minor drama, it's a reality check for her. Suddenly, the queen of your personal universe starts questioning what the hell went wrong. Did he lose interest? Am I no longer good enough? Oh, how her ego screams at this moment, and that's where the show begins. First comes the sadness. She feels discarded, insignificant, like all that attention you used to give her suddenly means nothing. And trust me, her mind goes wild. Every unsent message, every missed call turns into a puzzle she desperately tries to piece together. Did I say something wrong? Am I not as interesting as I thought? Then comes the anger. Because of course, who do you think you are to reject her out of the blue? Her ego, which was sky high, starts plummeting, and naturally it's all your fault. He must be with someone else, she thinks. Or better yet, he's doing this on purpose to provoke me. This kind of thinking not only makes her angry at you, but also at herself. The self-criticism explodes and she asks, why am I not enough? What do I need to change for him to notice me again? Oh, and don't forget about the shame. Yep, because admitting she was rejected is like exposing a weakness. In her head, everyone must be seeing how pathetic she is for not being able to keep your attention. And the fear of being seen as the rejected one makes her retreat even further into this emotional whirlpool. She'll start avoiding you in public, masking her insecurity with fake smiles and trying to convince herself she doesn't need you, even though she's falling apart inside. Now, the interesting part is that this feeling of rejection also has a powerful side effect. It forces reflection. Yep, she'll start thinking about everything, reassessing every conversation, every gesture, every look you two shared. And the worst part? She'll blame herself. She'll wonder what she needs to change, what she can do to get your attention back. Should I be more affectionate, colder, maybe play the same game he's playing? But here's the kicker. While she's there, tearing her own mind apart, you're just living your life, not even noticing the storm you've caused. And do you know why that's important? Because you didn't create any expectations. You're not waiting for anything in return, not for her to chase you, not for her to send you some desperate message. You simply distanced yourself, and that, my friend, is what completely disarms her ego. She realizes that maybe, just maybe, you're not playing, and that makes her question even more. Has he already forgotten about me? The key here is not feeding the illusion. Distancing yourself without creating expectations is the real secret to avoiding romantic disappointment. There's no point in sitting there arms crossed, waiting for her to come crawling back. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But the point is you don't care, because caring is what gives her power. And in this rejection game, the one who doesn't give a damn always comes out on top. So, to wrap it up, rejection hurts. It makes you think. It makes you question. But in the end, it's you who decides how much you're going to suffer. Walk away, let her deal with her own demons, and move forward without looking back. Number 2, feeling of loss. The glorious feeling of loss. The classic, you only value it when it's gone. And here's the interesting part. You haven't even left for good, but just the fact that you stopped chasing her already makes her head explode with worry. She starts feeling like she's losing you, and that's when the panic hits. Believe me, it's almost comical how it works. When you were there, available, being the nice guy, she didn't even blink at you. But the moment you turn around, boom! Suddenly you become the prize she never valued enough. The feeling of loss is that relentless trigger of anguish. She starts reminiscing about all the good times you had together, as if your absence paints you as the perfect man. Those laughs, those conversations, even the silly jokes she never paid attention to now seem Oscar-worthy. She starts asking herself, did I really lose him? Is there still time to fix this? And then, my friend, her head enters an endless loop of self-analysis, reviewing every detail of the relationship like a detective investigating her own life. And the funniest part of it all? She hasn't lost anything. There was no big fight. You didn't dramatically say goodbye. There's no official breakup. It's just the fear of possibly losing you that turns everything upside down. This feeling of loss isn't based on reality, but on the simple fact that maybe you're not as available as you used to be. And it's that maybe that makes the magic happen. Marketing loves to play with this feeling. You know those limited time promotions or only 3 units left tactics? It's the exact same strategy. They push you to make a quick decision, afraid of losing something valuable. And with her, same thing! She feels that if she doesn't act quickly, you'll slip through her fingers and maybe, just maybe, find someone who truly values you. And that anxiety is what makes her chase after you. It's as if suddenly you became the last man on Earth, and she needs to rescue you before it's too late. But here's the dangerous part. This feeling of loss has an expiration date. She may panic for a while, chase after you, throw all her charm into trying to win you back. And maybe she'll succeed. But once you're hers again, that fear of losing you fades, and guess what? She'll treat you exactly like before, with disdain, disinterest, and zero urgency. Because now she feels the threat of loss is gone. You're back, so why worry, right? It's like that Black Friday sale. During the panic, everyone rushes to buy. But once it's over, no one cares about what they bought. And that's exactly how she'll treat you if you don't know how to keep the right distance. She'll value you while she thinks she's losing you. But once she feels she has you back in her grasp, it's back to square one. That's why you always need to stay one step ahead. Don't be fooled by this temporary reaction. The trick is to never be fully available, because in the end, it's the fear of loss that keeps her moving. So stay sharp. Just because she chased you once doesn't mean it's something lasting. The real power lies in how you handle the situation. Don't be the sale that ends quickly and loses its value. Be the rare item, always desired but never fully accessible. If you're tired of being treated like trash, of being the idiot she walks all over and throws away whenever she feels like it, then it's time to put an end to this nonsense. Read the digital book in the description of this video. After reading it, you'll learn how to be cold and indifferent, how to stop giving room for these dirty games, and master the art of making her regret losing you. Stop being a doormat. Stop being disposable, and start being the man she will bitterly regret losing. Enough with the humiliation. Turn the game around now! Number 3, curiosity. Ah, good old curiosity. If there's one thing that can mess with her head, it's this blessed feeling. When you disappear from her life, stop chasing her, and just vanish. That's when curiosity comes into play, like a ticking time bomb ready to explode. She starts asking herself, what the hell happened to him? Because, let's be honest, no one likes being ghosted without an explanation. Her mind becomes a battlefield. Did you meet someone more interesting? Did you just get tired of her games? Or worse, is something wrong with you? Oh, my friend, the doubt starts eating away at her. And as you might guess, curiosity is like a slow poison. It won't leave her alone until she figures out what's going on. And that's when the real show begins. She'll start stalking your social media like she's investigating a crime. Every story you post, every new photo, every like you give becomes a clue in the puzzle she's desperately trying to solve. And don't think she'll stop there. If you have mutual friends, bet she'll strike up a conversation to try and extract some info. And if that's not enough, guess what? She won't hesitate to ask even your family what's going on. Now, before you start thinking that all this interest means she still loves you or wants you back, let me give you a reality check. None of that. She's not driven by love. She's driven by pure and simple curiosity. She wants to know what you're hiding, and the less you say, the more intrigued she becomes. It's almost a game for her, and she hates losing. Because deep down, her curiosity is about one thing: control. She wants to understand why you distanced yourself because, in her mind, it only makes sense if she discovers the exact reason. Remember that saying, curiosity killed the cat? Well, curiosity can lead a woman to do things you can't even imagine. She might start showing up at the same places you go, pretending it's a coincidence, or even go full detective mode online, finding out more about your life than you even know. All because the mystery of your disappearance is driving her insane. But pay attention. This curiosity has a treacherous side. If you give any signal, any clue about what's going on, the game changes. She'll lose interest the minute she feels she's got the answers she was looking for. Curiosity is only powerful as long as you remain an enigma. The second you reveal something, poof, the fascination dies. So, here's some advice. Let her stew in it. Curiosity can be fatal, yes, but only for those who can't keep control. And in this case, you hold all the cards. If she wants to keep wondering why you disappeared, great. Let her lose sleep trying to figure it out. Because in the end, the mystery is what keeps the game interesting. And you, my friend, need to be the mystery she never quite solves. Number 4, self-reflection. Ah, now we're getting to the good part. Self-reflection. When you distance yourself and stop being just another guy desperate for her attention, something interesting happens. She, who was used to a line of admirers willing to do anything for a smile from her, suddenly realizes you're different. And that difference messes with her head. You were the only one who dared not chase her like a hungry puppy, and that makes her stop and think, is the problem with me? Now, here's the irony. While most guys are there, crawling for a bit of attention, you simply walk away. And that, my friend, sends her into a spiral of self-criticism. She starts revisiting every detail of your last interactions, every word she said, trying to understand exactly what she did wrong to push you away. Because in her mind, there are only two options. Either you got tired of being just another guy, or she did something terribly wrong to make you give up on the game. This is the point where her ego, usually inflated, starts to deflate. She's not used to being ignored, and now, with you stepping back, she starts questioning even her own image. Is she not as interesting as she thought? Did she say something that pushed you away? This phase of self-reflection makes her scrutinize every interaction you've had, looking for signs of where she went wrong. And sometimes, she even reaches the conclusion that she needs to change something, not because she really wants to, but because she fears she's lost control of the situation. And here's the interesting part. In some cases, this self-reflection leads her to try and fix what happened. She might subtly reappear, trying to rekindle the contact, test the waters, see if there's still room to set things straight. She'll act as if she wants to correct whatever she thinks went wrong, hoping to reverse the situation. Her ego can't handle the blow of you being the only one not chasing after her. She needs validation. She needs to feel like she still has power over you. But the result isn't always that. In other cases, this self-reflection leads to relief. After much thinking, she may decide that your distance is a favor. Maybe she realizes that deep down she wasn't that interested, or that the effort to try to win you back isn't worth it. In that case, she moves on, but always with the thought that you were an exception, someone who didn't fit the usual pattern. And that, in a way, will still linger in her mind for quite a while. Either way, self-reflection is crucial because it destabilizes her comfort zone. The fact that you're not there, like all the others, flattering her and begging for attention, forces her to reassess everything. She realizes she doesn't control everything as she thought, and that makes her question whether she's really in charge. This is the moment when the reality check kicks in. Not everything goes as planned, and sometimes the problem may be with her. And you know what? That's exactly when you win. Because while she's there, lost in thoughts and doubts, you've already turned the page. Number 5, she'll chase you. Now we get to the part where things heat up. She'll start chasing you. Yes, my friend, that's exactly what I said. When rejection and curiosity combine, it's like a new switch gets flipped in her head. Obsession mode. Suddenly, she needs to know everything you're doing, every step you're taking. And how will she do that? Oh, in the most creative ways possible. First, she'll start watching all your stories, every single one of them. You can bet that as soon as you post something, she'll be one of the first to view it. And don't even try to hide. If she's in this mode, she'll like old photos, those from 2018, just to see if you notice she's still paying attention. And it doesn't stop there. If you think that's all, you're wrong. If necessary, she'll create fake profiles. Yes, she'll disguise herself online like a professional spy. And all of this just to find out if you're with someone, if you're going out, if you're happy without her. But the game gets even more interesting. She might ask a friend to follow you. Oh, because of course she doesn't want to expose herself directly. So she sends her friend to do the dirty work. And that friend will be there, silently stalking everything you do, following every post. And guess what? There have been cases where even the friend's husband starts following the guy, just to keep an eye on his movements. Yes, my friend, the level of pursuit can be absurd. And don't think this is rare. This behavior happens more often than you think. It's almost as if, by distancing yourself, you've thrown gasoline on a fire that was almost dying out. She starts realizing she no longer has control over you, and that leads her to become more and more obsessed. Because of course, she's not going to reach out to you directly. Oh no, that would be admitting defeat. Instead, she prefers to operate in the shadows, trying to figure everything out without leaving a trace. Have you ever gone through this? Have you noticed this suspicious activity on your social media? Comment below because I'm sure you've seen this kind of behavior in action. Number 6, relief or regret. Now we've reached the final crossroads, the moment where the game can take two completely different paths, relief or regret. And believe me, both scenarios have their charm, depending on how you look at the situation. First, let's talk about relief. Yes, my friend, it may be that by distancing yourself, you've done her the favor she was looking for. Maybe, without you realizing it, she was already fed up, didn't see a future, or simply had already gotten over whatever feeling she had for you. Then you pull away, and she thinks, thank God, one less problem in my life. It might hurt your ego, I know, but that's the truth. She might secretly be celebrating the fact that she doesn't have to deal with texts, forced dates, or any leftover traces of the relationship you had. In this scenario, my friend, there's no point in pushing things. She's already moved on, and if you have any self-respect, it's time for you to do the same. Now let's move on to the more interesting scenario. Regret. This is the moment when she realizes that maybe, just maybe, she messed up. She starts thinking about the actions she took, the things she said or didn't say, and then that uncomfortable feeling sets in that she made a big mistake. At this point, her ego starts battling internally. Should I call him to talk? Is there still a chance to fix this? And now, my friend, you hold the power to decide the future. If she truly regrets it, she might try to rekindle things. She'll come with the usual talk about aligning expectations, having a mature conversation, and blah blah blah. But be careful. This is the moment when both of you need to be willing to make things work. If not, it's just a waste of time. Because, let's be real, regret alone doesn't save any relationship. If you really want to give it another chance, both of you will have to work together, without games and without the emotional theater that brought you to this point. So, whether it's relief or regret, the important thing is for you to have a clear sense of your own worth. If she moves on, great. You need to do the same. And if she regrets it, well, it's up to you to decide if you want to give her a second chance or continue on your path without looking back. Number 7, she'll play the game. The famous game of games. When you distance yourself, some women will look at the situation and think, oh, so he's playing with me, huh? And then, my friend, what was once a strategic withdrawal on your part turns into a full-blown psychological war. Because if there's one thing some women can't stand, it's the feeling of losing. And if she thinks you're playing her, bet she'll want to return the favor, maybe even with interest. So how does she do this? Simple. She starts playing the classic cat and mouse game. First, she'll randomly text you, start a conversation, make you believe everything's back to normal. Then, when you least expect it, poof, she disappears. Gone for days, leaving you on red, while you sit there wondering what the hell just happened. And of course, in your head, you start getting anxious, imagining what she's doing, who she's with, exactly what she wanted, to leave you confused and out of control. And it doesn't stop there. She might send cryptic messages, the kind that say nothing but say everything at the same time. Like, I hope you're doing well. What does that mean? Does she care? Is she watching you from afar? Or is she just testing you? That doubt is the perfect fuel to feed your anxiety. She drops these little crumbs to keep you tied to the game, while she enjoys the chaos she's created. This behavior is typical of someone who can't stand losing control. She's used to being the center of attention, to having control over the situation, and the fact that you've distanced yourself makes her completely uncomfortable. And since she can't admit this directly, after all, that would mean you have power over her. The solution is simple. She starts playing back, doing everything she can to destabilize you. And then, my friend, if you're not careful, it's easy to fall into this trap. You start trying to figure out what's going on, trying to get closer, and before you know it, she's pulled you back under her control. That's why the trick here is not to get carried away. If she wants to play, let her play alone. Because deep down, this game is just another attempt to regain the control she lost when you distanced yourself. So, the big question is, are you going to fall for this game, or are you going to stay calm and keep moving forward? The power is in your hands. Number 8, the power of silence. We finally reached the ultimate trump card, the power of silence. If you really want to play the psychological game at the highest level, learn one thing. Talking too much is your downfall. Now, if you know how to use silence as a weapon, get ready to see the magic happen. When you distance yourself and simply disappear, without explanations, without drama, what you create is not just curiosity, but a deep fear in her, the fear of losing you for good. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you can use in a relationship. And do you know why? Because it creates mystery, and where there's mystery, there's confusion. She starts asking herself, what's going on? Did he forget about me? Did I do something wrong? Is he with someone else? All these questions start eating away at her mind because, guess what? Silence speaks louder than any words. And this is the key point. If you're the guy who's always available, who responds to every message immediately, who never leaves her waiting, you automatically lose control of the situation. You become predictable, and predictable is synonymous with uninteresting. Now, when you know how to strategically disappear, letting silence fill the void, she has no choice but to wonder what's happening and, worse, what she needs to do to win you back. Silence forces her to invest in the relationship, even if it's just to understand where you are, what you're thinking, and why you distanced yourself. And the fear of losing you makes her take action, because in the absence of your words, your messages, she realizes that maybe, just maybe, you're distancing yourself for good, and panic starts to set in. But be careful. The trick isn't to just disappear out of nowhere. It's knowing how to balance it. Silence is powerful when used from the beginning of the relationship. If you've always been the talker, the guy who's constantly available, and suddenly you vanish, she might see through it as just another game. But if from the start you know how to maintain that mystery, that I'm not 100% at your disposal, then silence becomes your greatest weapon, making her chase after you. So, use silence wisely, my friend. Don't be the guy who's always there, always talking, always available. Be the enigma, the mystery she can never fully solve. Because in the end, power isn't in what you say, but in what you don't say. In the end, the game of relationships is a dance between what you do and what you don't do. When you learn to use silence, absence, and distance as tools, you stop being just another guy and become a mystery she can't figure out. The power lies in controlling what you reveal, in being unpredictable, and, most importantly, in knowing when to step out of the scene. And remember, silence is not weakness. It's a demonstration of control. That's where the real power manifests, because those who control silence control the game. Now that you know how to use silence and distance to your advantage, it's time to act. Don't be the guy who chases after her, who wears himself out emotionally to please. Be the man who knows his worth, who understands the power of staying in control. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content that will help you become stronger and more desirable. And if you made it this far, comment, "I control the game," so I know you're on the right track. Remember, those who stay silent, control. See you in the next video.